Nuno, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
We are live. Hello guys, and thank you very much for joining in to a new episode. I forgot what I wanted to say. Saturday morning, guys. Welcome to a new episode of our podcast with Nuno, Damaso and me for a motivating and also inspiring week. This week we have the topic of traditional Chinese medicine with our coach Nuno. He will tell us a little bit about his story, a little bit about his knowledge, and also what you have to know for helping you in this, of course, difficult and strange time we have. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this episode. And if you do, please share it, like it, and also subscribe. It would be an immense help to let this channel grow. And if it grows, we can just continue to do this awesome content for you guys, and we will love that. Thank you very much, and welcome at JFP TV. All right, my friend, right away. Thank you very much to having you here. So let's jump in. What we want to discuss today.
Hello, dear Fabrizio. I'm happy to be here again with you. So this morning, it's morning time, we are going to discuss especially about fear. Fear is actually a very present topic, very actual topic. And we are going to speak about fear from different perspectives. So as a martial artist, as a fighter, I will speak about the fear you have in full contact fighting or in other dangerous activities. What is this type of fear? Another type of fear we are going to discuss is about our personal fear, especially from losing the face, to take new challenge, to be a new person, to go into a new adventure. This will be one kind of fear. And then we will have a look in the Chinese medicine and the influence of emotions on our health, which is a very important topic, especially now. Everybody is dealing with frustration, perhaps with sadness, perhaps with fear. And we should know that these emotions have a tremendous influence on our health. So we will talk about that in the second part. And last but not least, we should look how can we deal with our emotions, and how can we be our own doctor, our own coach, and help ourselves.
That sounds great for us on Saturday morning. What I want to discuss or ask your guidance for this topic is, I had a wish from a good friend of our kickboxing class. She wanted to know, or if we can discuss about this theme, to compare ourselves to different people. So I will give also my opinion about it, and so we can discuss it after your topic is finished, is complete. How I deal with comparing myself to different people. Also you, I mean, we discussed it last time, like what's winning about and what it should be about, but also this annoying feeling about, okay, he's dealing better with it, or he's doing better with it, he's more relaxed, of how you can actually deal with it and even overcome it so that it will be helpful for you. This will be at the end, so wishes always at the end. First, our topic we discuss. So yeah, I'm very happy to hear, because I heard a lot of traditional Chinese medicine. First question, since how long are you really into it in this topic?
That's interesting. I learned Chinese medicine like 8 years ago. I started with Chinese medicine. But when I started with Chinese medicine, I realized through the practice of martial arts, I was doing this all my life. So let me explain very quickly. Martial art is about balance. It's about inner balance, outside balance, balancing from the forces, balancing from the emotions. Is really about balance, and what is the base behind is Taoism, no? And Chinese medicine is also about balancing the heat and the cold, the yin and the yang. So I realized when I started with Chinese medicine that my body, from the deep practice of martial art, already knew a lot. I had not the theory in my mind, But martial arts and Chinese medicine are very, very near connected. Yes.
So is it because the cultures actually like overlap in a few things? For example, you already told me karate and taekwondo, and also kung fu. Everything has like the same origin of respect, like mental strength and also spirituality, and then of course physical strength. So
in the ancient China, a martial arts master was always a doctor, a healer, because it's two sides of the same middle. You can kill, you can heal, you can heal, you can kill. You have the knowledge for both things, no? And it's a little bit expression of the yin and the yang. And to your question concerning philosophy, this is more a modern aspect when the martial arts, when not used anymore on the battlefield. The people ask themselves, what can we do now with this potential? And they saw that all the discipline you invest, the control of the mind, of the emotions you invest into it, will be a fantastic self-development tool. So in modern society, we don't practice martial arts to kill each other, but more as a growing process from our physical and mental abilities. And especially what makes it special is exactly the topic we have today, is that we have to deal with emotions when we go for fighting, no? We will meet fear and pain in fighting, especially when we fight in full contact, no? And as everybody know, in our modern society, we do everything to avoid this kind of emotions. We dream of this full security society with a lot of insurance and very less risk if possible. And as I said, in fighting, you have to
train yourself to fight, you know.
And you will have pain, and you will face fear. Even I would say this will make all the difference. How do you face fear? How do you use fear as a power? How you transform fear? Yes.
Which is actually weird, because natural would be that we teach our kids, or that we learn from our parents, to face fear because it's natural. The other way around wouldn't be natural, that we are living in a safe environment, secured and protected, and all the time have insurance. That would be actually for me the most unnatural surrounding. So why don't we learn it in school, you know?
To face fear. Yes, you know, that's very interesting. We create a society which we try to achieve the highest life quality we can have. And in our life quality, we want some comfort, no? And fear is not comfortable, it's not a nice feeling. But we can invent all what we want. We will not walk away from fear. It's part of our life. It will be there. If we don't deal, it will stay there. So it's the wrong strategy to put it under the carpet. And it's exactly what you meet when you go for fight, no? You are full of fear. Some people, they say, oh, I have not fear, I just have respect. Generally, they are full of fear. They're lying, you know? I used to fight for more than 10 years, you know? As a professional fighter. And I had a lot of success. I was quite secure and qualified. But each time I went in the mat, I felt, oh man, it's fear there.
You saw your limitations there.
Yes and no, because these limitations help me to jump over my potential.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the topic today.
So when I can ask you, what did you fear then? You know, how, you know now, like retrospective.
Yes.
It's a German word I use a lot. You know now, when you look back, what did you fear then? Like losing, like shame, or what was it?
This will be that topic. I will make the difference between two different fears. First of all, fear is not an enemy. Is a good friend, because it takes care of us and it have a meaning, a purpose. It's not a stupid invention. I think a person which is mental healthy is not fearless, because fear is a natural process. When you go for a fight, what is the fear? To answer your question, very simple. Breaking my jaw, breaking my nose, breaking my hands. So when you fight in full contact, you have fear for your physical integrity. And this is totally okay, because we are not nuts, no? So this is just normal. And when you go, for example, for fast skiing or car run, each dangerous activity, you will meet this very natural fear for your physical integrity. And this fear is totally okay. It's just human and it's a good thing. Now, what is very interesting, some fighter or some athlete, we have two different situations. The fear comes, takes over you, take control of you. What happened? You can't think anymore properly. You can't breathe anymore. You lose your coordination. You lose your capacities, and eventually you get in a state which is very near to panic. The frustration is huge because you train so much your body. You know all what you have to do, but fear controls you. As a coach, we should remember an athlete is only strong when he's strong physically and mentally. What is the purpose of a strong body if the mind is weak? So this is what happens if we cannot cope with the fear. But what happens when we use the fear as a motor, as a good friend? So they're exactly the contrary, no? Because it's a natural process, everybody knows about the fight and flight reaction. Our body will be full of adrenaline. Our movement will be so fast that we will be surprised. We have a tremendous power in the body. Eventually, our senses and reaction are incredibly awake. We can rely on them. I even made as fighter, when I get into a deep danger, situations when you are at the limit. You are at the limit. I had some experience, we call that transcendental experience, that the space and time disappear. I could read through the thoughts of my opponent. The breath was not a problem, the tiredness was not a problem, like overcapacities. Why? Because the fear brings you into your instincts, in your intuition, which is always much faster than your brain. And in fighting, you have to rely on that.
A question. Is it actually that I heard that saying once that in martial arts, in Kung Fu, Karate or Taekwondo, you train so many times that these reactions, like for example, hold your block your punches or whatever, it just becomes instinct. It's that when you are in like this knocked out or like a little bit fear situation that you just base on your instincts. You mean that, or you mean like your fight and flight instinct?
Yeah, but I'm thankful for this question. So martial arts, the way of teaching is based on drilling. We drill so much as possible. Why? Because when the moment is there for fighting, what is the reaction time? You don't even have a half second to react. You have to react instantaneously. So this is only possible if the movement is totally drilled and you can react with your intuition, with your instinct. No? Especially then, addition to the fight, you have the fear. With the fear, you will eventually lose a part of your potential. So the instinct will react only if you put enough information in the box. So through the drill training, absolutely. What is interesting, Fabrizio, to analyze is what happened to these two different types of fighter. The one, he was not able to cope with fear.
So he just gets overrun by fear and overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. And by the way, it's okay. It's a very natural reaction. You have to train it. The second fighter, he was able to use the fear as a motor and to go far over his potential, what is somehow fascinating, no? So what happened? I think the first fighter, like our society, by the way, he made a taboo out of fear. He don't look the fear in the eyes. It's something he tried to reject, to suppress, to avoid, because perhaps he feels ashamed of the fear. He don't know if he will be able to deal with it. So what is the most easy way is to reject it. And exactly when you do that, fear will overwhelm you, no? And the other fighter, perhaps he had a little bit more experience, and he understood, okay, what is fear? Is a total natural process, which is okay to have. And if I accept it, and now comes the important part, if I transform it as an energy, I can use it for me. No, we said that when we have fear, the body is full of adrenaline, and you will move faster, stronger, you will be in your instincts, your intuition. So he accepts this emotion as an emotion, he didn't reject it, and he could transform it in an expression. And I think this is very a big lesson for our life, because it's not only in fighting like this, yeah? Yeah.
One thing I had the experience as a coach or as an athlete is when we see fear as a physiological thing, there is like this reaction in the body, like the flight, fight, or freeze reaction. So I interpreted that like the following: like you can train yourself like to sustain. I don't know the right word. Sustain an high amount of adrenaline. You know, like we all imagine that we are really tough till the moment is like when we are fearful or just really attached at something, and we are like in this fight or flight mood. And when we are not used to that in fighting, or for me it was like just talking or speaking in front of people, this is the same reaction for a lot of guys, like they would be standing against their opponent, you know. So what I trained myself and also my athletes was, I trained them to be all the time like with a little bit of stress. So that's the thing what's coming in my mind. For example, when they get on stage on a bodybuilding competition, they also have just the instincts. And all the time my athletes told me, yeah, well, when the time will be right, I will have my posture. I will laugh. I will have the knowledge how to flex. I know that, and this knowing and really have it as an instinct is such a big difference that I all the time train them. Hey, even when you're asleep, you have to know how to pose, have to know how to stand straight, you know, and watch your competitors into the eye, because the amount of adrenaline you release at that moment, like for me in a lot of situations where I was a speaker in events, I really calmed myself down. But before that I jumped on stage, my hands were like really shaking, cold.
Sure.
And my heart was like, oh my God, I thought everyone can hear my heart through the microphone, because it was like so much pumping blood. And the interesting thing is, the more you get used to this feeling as a bodybuilding athlete, and I'm sure as a martial arts fighter also, the more you get used to this feeling, you don't think, okay, I'm not fearful, but you know how to deal with fear. Exactly. And fear is just like, I wouldn't say a doping, I wouldn't say like an enhancement drug, but it acts a little bit like an enhancement of your reaction time.
Sure.
You are focused. You have no doubt in this moment, because it's you die or you survive. You're like fight or flight, like our ancestors. So that's my thoughts on the physiological why we have this trigger, you know. And also a good thing is, when we have this situation of fear or fight or flight or freeze would be like the paralysis, like a few mammals have that, like they fall down and they think they are dead. For the prey animals to see, oh no, this is rotting, this is already dead, no, I won't eat it.
Useless.
Yeah, the reaction of the body is like all blood goes into our muscles. We are at a certain in a certain millisecond we become like insulin resistant because nothing goes into the gut. So this is also a negative part. I mean, when we are too much fearful in the daily base, we don't really digest food so good.
We will speak on this topic later.
So this is I'm interested.
But to your, I like your coaching. I like very much. No, it's not the same if you understand something with your intellect or if you leave it with your body. It's quite different. And in martial art, we call that training world champion. Some people, they are so strong in the school, but when they come into the real situation, so I like very much your idea. We should train the students to be in this situation regularly, that the situation get just normality, and this will help them a lot in any competition. That's one point. So the training for this adrenaline situation. And the second point, we have that in meditation. No? In meditation, when an emotion or a thought appear, we speak about the neutral, non-judgmental observer. What do we do with fear? Fear comes and we say, oh, I'm such a coward. Or we say, oh, I hate that feeling. Or I will not be able to cope with it. Actually, we can do that with all emotions, not only about fear. We look at it. We just, hey, I'm sad. Okay. And
just live with it.
Live with it and don't let it, it's not you, it's just an emotion for an instant. Don't let it overwhelm you, no?
Yeah.
That's a strategy we can use with fear. And you had another question, Fabrizio. You asked, when you go to fight, was your first question, what do you fear? So first I spoke about physical integrity.
Of course, harm.
I fear for my jaw, for my nose. But then we have the mental integrity. So questions like, you said it, losing the face, or to be disappointed, or to disappoint people, to do not cope with expectations. This is now is more generalist because this is not only in fighting. You have this for a sportsman, for an athlete, for somebody in his job. Each person which wants to achieve something will face this type of fear. It's very natural. So I would speak more here about mental integrity. And this fear is much more widespread as the fear of breaking the nose, no? And what is interesting is more difficult to confess or to speak about it.
Just to be honest to yourself, you mean?
Yeah, and you know, we are a society, we are very much in the outside. We have to look beautiful, clever, sexy, successful all the time. Mm-hmm. So not many people speak about their emotions or about their fears. You are afraid of judgment. So more you confess it, more you look the fear in the eyes, more you can recognize where you are and how you can cope with it. It's not a solution to do not speak about it, no? But this is a very natural and widespread fears, this fear of losing the faith. So, what can we do?
That's a question, yeah.
That's the question. What can we do?
So good so far, but what can we do?
We are not going to cry. So what can we do? Actually, we can ask very simple, basic, natural questions. For example, what can really happen if I lose the face? End of the world. What means losing the face and what face? Mm-hmm. Why I'm so afraid to disappoint myself? That's examples, no? Do I have to justify myself about my success to others? Or are other people really concerned about my success? And last, should I give other people power over my life?
You are actually doing that, so that's a good question, because when you decide that others can determine your persona, your character, measuring you from your success or your failures or your weak points, then you don't have your life for yourself. Other ones determine how you live.
This we call slavery.
This is
Slavery, no? But it's interesting because you just touched the word, and I know it's very consciously you spoke about the persona, no? So if we ask these questions honestly, what I'm really afraid, which face I don't want to lose, and if we are honest and enough courageous, we come to this answer, the persona, no? And you know the persona from the Latin means the mask. And we also call it the ego, no? And we wear this mask all the time, and we think we have to protect this mask. So this is this image we want to project outside from ourselves. The people should believe we are that, and this is a big prison, no? It's not real. First, we have to accept that we do that. It's not so easy. It's quite scary to accept that sometimes we play a role, we try to be something, and we would like the people see us like that. Mm-hmm. And just to admit it's quite courageous. And to make yourself free of it, it sounds good when you and me, we talk like this with our microphone, but in real life, I think is a lifetime achievement to be totally free from this mask, expectation of other people. Don't be so hard on yourself with your judgment. This is a big way to go. Huh?
So a little disclaimer here for our young audience. When you talk about like not being too hard to yourself, or like living authenticity, and also not be fearful of the judgment of others, I think you don't mean nihilism. I don't think you mean just like the worst kind of behavior, which I really detest, to be like nothing cares, nothing matters. What I will do what I like. This is like a pathway to destruction, which I admit I did a lot of that in certain phases of my life. For example, my partnerships, like relationships, not partnerships, business. I didn't care, I just was selfish and I didn't care. But I think what you mean is like the inner peace. I interpret that with becoming also grown up, grow up, when you are not ashamed to be just silly, just to be stupid sometimes, because children in between 20, 25, they are developing so quickly, and I all the time meet younger people or like talk with them or chat with them, and the first thing which comes in mind, which is totally normal, I don't criticize that a lot, is they are fearful of what will the others think about them. Oh no, I don't do that. Like no, I'm not really sure. Can we take this chat what we have what we had now in between us? Can we let it in between us, even if it just was like a chat of if this person wants to go on stage or not? They are so fearful of what others will think about them, and I think the best thing to differentiate these things are, if you live in a community or if you live in a group, of course there are rules. Of course there are some things which are the standards. You shouldn't behave under the standards. For example, be loyal, be truthful, be honest, be also courageous. Look to the other in your community, not only to yourself. These are the standards. But in between these points, don't be ashamed of when you're lacking in skill. Don't be ashamed of if you're not as good as someone else is in something. You don't have to be the best. These problems we faced 100 years ago, we didn't face. We had smaller communities. We didn't have Facebook, Instagram. The only people we measured ourselves with were in our community. 100, maybe 1,000 people surrounding us, but now it's billions. And so the fear of being worse than someone else, or someone else is always better than us. 7 billion people. Of course, there is someone which is better than me, or someone which is better than you. And this is the pathway also to a very destructive way. So this is what I think what you meant is not just forgetting judgment of everyone, forgetting judgment of specific things, which is leading you to a self-destructive way. that you won't even enjoy your sport because you always will measure yourself to someone else?
Yes. Yeah, it's a very interesting question. You know, and I don't think in duality. Some people, they say, I never have expectations, then I'm never disappointed. Or they say, I don't care, then nothing can happen. Okay, that's a way to deal with it. But I think it's no duality. I can have clear goals. We spoke about it in the last podcast. I can have very clear goals, but not a dramatic attachment to these goals. I want to be my best version, to give the best of myself, but I can deal if I don't reach there exactly the way I want it to reach, because the process will be the growing process. And same with the expectation of others. No? We all have expectations outside, all. We should not lie. But how much weight I give to them, is that the measurement of my life? Or can I have, like I said, have some tolerance, some self-love, some acceptance, not only for my good sides, but also for my limitations, for my faults, whatever. So this is very important, but I like very much your topic because the social pressure today is huge. But one of our listeners asked a question, and we will speak at the end of it. And it's going in that direction about comparing with other people, no? Yeah. You remember?
Yeah, of course. And also, if you have other questions or wishes, the comments section is open while we're doing this live chat, but we won't answer the questions live. We will take a week off and also prepare a few themes which are correlating to these questions. So again, if you have wishes or you want something of subject to that that Nuno and I look to it, write us on Instagram, write us on YouTube and Facebook, and also on WhatsApp. We have also a special WhatsApp group. Obviously, we will answer that as good as we can, and we look forward. So yeah, be prepared.
So back to these fears, this projection fear. I call it a little bit in a bad way, prestige fear. Prestige fear. We are afraid to lose the face. And it's important to understand this fear doesn't exist in the now. It's always in the future. How I will look if I lose? If I don't reach this goal, I'm going to be another person. What will be the reaction? What will be the benefits? So it's a projection in the future. We call expectation, no? Or fear. But in the moment, in the now, actually, in the doing, in the concentration, in the awareness, there is no place for fear. That's why the biggest sport performance, or also in arts, always apply in a totally flow. When a martial artist, a dancer, a bodybuilder melt with the action, melt with his technique, with his doing, with his expression, in this momentum, this is magic. There is no place for doubts, there is no place for vanity, there is no place for expectation, there is even no place for me as persona. We just melt with the action. And this is emancipation of fear. And it's only possible to get there when I can pass over this fear. That's why I think for any type of performance or big achieving, we need to look at fear in the eyes, think about it, analyze it, and understand what is it. Is it going to be my enemy or is it going to be my friend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the story about apes?
No.
The two ape friends?
No.
So the story I told, I will show you. The story I told already here is, wait a second. The button doesn't function. What the hell? Anyway, the topic I told my warriors. So now it is. This is the video. You don't see it, Nuno, but they will see. This is on the playlist on Ask the Coach. It's I'm afraid in Swiss German, so you can't. Well, you can learn Swiss German, obviously. So, but the story is the following: our ancestors. I think we can't discuss if our ancestors were monkeys. We will just say they were, to not offend anyone. But there were two monkeys. So when one monkey was fearful, and the bush was like shaking, like the monkey ran away. Because it could be a snake, it could be a predator, whatever. It's just danger. So the fearful monkey survived. And the not fearful monkey, the second monkey, the little bit courageous monkey, was watching a little bit longer. So what's coming out of the bush? Maybe it's a snake, but maybe something, and maybe it's a female monkey, you know? You never know. So, but in the end, our ancestors survived. Because the most of the monkeys, our ancestors, were fearful. Because 100% of the fearful monkeys survive when the bush is shaking, because they run away. But the other ones, even if they are lucky, they won't survive in long term. So fearful monkeys are our ancestors. That's why we have fear. That's the story.
I like it. Yes, so that was the part about fear and performance, fear and fighting, fear and achieving goals, no? Fear is an emotion, and like other emotions, it will have a huge impact on our health. And with this topic, we get to the Chinese medicine. You know that the Chinese medicine is a holistic, a whole medicine, which hurts the human, the nature, the emotions, even the time of the year, everything as one. Mm-hmm. So really a body and mind connection. And in Chinese medicine, you have these 5 elements we call, and each element is connected with an organ. Each organ have a character, have an energy, and is connected with 2 meridians. So what do we have now in this Corona time, for example? We are not going to go too deep in Chinese medicine, but we will have an overview to understand the enormous impact that emotion can have in our health, no? So now during the Corona, we have a lot of frustration, no? Anger. Some of us, we don't understand what is going on. Perhaps we disagree with the way the society is dealing with this crisis. Can be many reasons, or we have to quit our job, or we have to put our goals on the side, no? And this can lead to anger and to frustration. In Chinese medicine, the liver is the organ which, when it's healthy, gives a lot of strength and creativity. The liver is an organ which always wants to grow, like the wood element, like a tree. It wants to grow and to express. So it's something very powerful and a huge development there. But if it's stuck, if the liver energy is stuck, it can lead to very strong anger and frustration. What happened there from the physiological point of view? The liver in Chinese medicine is a cleansing organ. It cleans our emotions, but naturally also cleans the blood and distribute the qi, the energy, and the blood to the other organs, what will be very important for our digestion. Now, if the liver is stuck, for example, the spleen or the stomach will have huge problems with digestion. That's an example how an emotion can have big influence on our digestion. No? It's interesting to notice that it works the both ways. We said that anger, frustration, especially anger, is the emotion of the liver. People with hepatitis, they are very quick-tempered. They very easy get angry because this energy is already attacked. So it goes both ways. We can go to the body or to the mind. It's always in interaction. Another emotion which is now very present in these times is the worry, the overthinking, because we don't know about the future.
Yeah, and so we think we should know what's in the future.
We used to make plans. We have a luxury life. We always have the next holidays plan, the next planification, and we think this is normal. And for once in our life, we cannot plan. We have to go day by day, and we are not so used to. So, as I said, this brings a lot of frustration and worry. Worry in Chinese medicine belongs to the stomach and the spleen. These two organs, we say, when they are healthy, they help people to be very compassionate and caring. On the other way, when we are worried too long time or overthinking, we will also destroy the energy of the digestion. It can lead us to depression, but also as overcompensation to overeating. So what I'm trying to say here, if you stay in an emotion too long time in the same emotion, and the emotion is not transformed, is not moving, you will be stuck. And from this moment, it starts to damage your body. But I'm telling nothing new to you. We call that psychosomatic. No, we know that our psyche, our mental psyche, have a huge influence on our body. But we are not always sure about it. Sometimes we think this is hocus pocus. Is this really clear? Yeah,
but that's actually very interesting to know exactly why. The explanation of why a lot of people still, even my parents, so like for example, when I was a kid and the teacher was thinking, bring your child to the psychologist. They said, oh no, he's not crazy. No psychologist. Only crazy people go to the psychologist, because they think like the moment you open up the mind, ghosts come out, demons come out. So they think, oh no, psyche is not nothing good.
Fantastic.
And the first thing I think when people say, it's they can't feel it, they can't see it, they can measure it, So what you don't see, you don't think it's real. So for example, now why should my psyche? A lot of people thought that why should my psyche has something to do with my digestion? Well, one simple.
Can you prove it?
Thing.
Can you prove it?
It doesn't make sense. Why should I eat differently or digest differently when I have, for example, a heartbreak? A lot of people totally get their bodies unhealthy when they have a heartbreak. So this is one example everyone knows.
I want to catch up that one. Have you? So when somebody is fully in love, it's very rare that this person is sick, no? The immune system is flying.
Yeah.
No? So this is also a very clear statement, no? But we don't make the connections between our mental state and our health, and especially today in our stress-related society, this is more important than ever. We will talk about, I hope, in another podcast. I call this the high-level self-defense. Because in self-defense, today, if you have to defend your body by fighting, when this happened, one time all 20 years, no? Mm-hmm. Probably, or in the movies, in your head, but not in real life. But coping with stress, this is today every single day. So stress is the public enemy number one. Mm-hmm. It's an emotion.
Yeah.
And we should develop strategies to cope with it. So back to the fear, because we start this podcast with the fear, no? So fear is related with the kidney. Kidney is a very special organ in Chinese medicine. We call it the mother of yin and yang, or the mother of water and fire. And something very interesting with the kidney is responsible for our growth, our development from the bones, from the hairs, our sexuality. And in a strong state, the kidney is responsible for our willpower. willpower. So this is a small story, just spontaneously. When I was a young fighter, the master of my master, I say my Taekwondo grandfather. When I went to fight, it always tell me, no, you should hit the ball of your foot on the floor. Hit the ball of your foot. You can hear it? I'm hitting. And it was my master. I was 20 years old. Yes, sir. And I feel I'm strong now, I'm ready to fight. I never asked him why. But it was my master, I trust him, no? We go together to the ring, no?
It's like a trick from him, huh?
Then 30 years later, I studied Chinese medicine. Because this old knowledge, they are connected. So what did I learn? In the ball of the foot, you have the lowest acupuncture point of the body, which is kidney number 1. And in Chinese medicine, you can do sedation or tonification. So you can give power to an organ, or you can calm this organ down. What we're doing there, we were doing tonification to the kidney. So it was very meaningful, but I don't know if he even knew. Perhaps his master teach to him. You know, the warrior in the ancient time, they went to the war with a big belt. Why? Because in the kidney, there is the fear and the courage. So here we go. The emotion which is damaging the kidney is the fear. And in Chinese medicine, you have this idea that the kidney is storing our life essence, what we call the Jing, even the prenatal life essence. In the Western medicine, we speak about the DNA, okay? And this essence is like your bank account, your saving, is the last reserve we never should touch, because it's your last reserve. By the way, in Chinese medicine, you also can produce your own energy by the air we breathe, the qi, by the nutrition we eat, and by our thoughts. So we have the power to produce energy every day. And what I'm speaking about now, the qing, is a basic capital that you get from your parents when you come into the world. And the three other energy, the breath, the food, and the thoughts, for this energy, you are fully responsible. You can do it on your own. So back to this Jing energy. In the TCM, we believe that a burnout is when you burn these reserves of Jing. So it means you went very, very far over your limits and you really burn your core. That's why when a person has a burnout, it's so difficult and it takes so long time to recover. Because we pass so much over the limits we went to our savings in the bank, you know? And why is this important? Because today we spoke about fear. And you brought this point. If I need this fear for a fighting situation, if 1 or 2 times a day I have this fight and fight reaction, this is totally okay because it's nature. But what happens when we are constantly under stress? Our body will believe that we are always in fight and flight. It will not recognize the difference. It will be like a normal state. In other words, we will be draining our energy all the time. And because we think stress is normal, we think this is our life, we think when I'm stressed, I'm important, I'm an important person.
This is what's actually happening to a lot of people all the time. I mean, bankers, well, not bankers in this time, 15 years ago, bankers, but now CEOs or entrepreneurs or even parents, they're all the time stressed out and they think it's a normal behavior with bad sleep and also bad mood in the morning, very tired in the evenings, a lot of caffeine to be awake. and then to get to a spinning class in full force, 60 minutes of pure dying. Ooh. It's very beneficial. This is the normal way people live in these days.
I like very much our podcast because you always give me new ideas. You see, we spoke so much about outside recognition. I made the game. I made it actually every day. People ask me, how are you doing, Nuno? Are you stressed? I say, no, I'm happy. I have a good life. Then they say to me, are you serious? Are you not stressed? I say, no, I'm happy. I have a good life. And then I'm suspicious. But are you a lazy guy? Are you a serious guy?
No,
I'm just happy. So if you say to somebody, oh man, I'm so stressed, it's too much, I can't anymore, so much work, you cannot imagine, you will be very respected. This makes you important.
Yeah.
And we learn that way, it's outside recognition. And it may be a reason that people fell in love with their stress, because it shows, it's like a material proof that you are very in the performance, that you are achieving a lot. But as you said, somehow it's very sick and very destructive to accept this as a normal state of being. Mm-hmm. You see, we spoke also about Chinese medicine, martial arts, yin and yang. Between performance, between action and rest, we should find a harmonious balance. Coming home, going out. Mm-hmm. Come home, peaceful, go out. Perhaps fight, achieve, do what you have to do. But if we are never home and always out, is mathematic what is going to happen, no? I never will recharge my batteries. I even will not have the chance to feel how I'm really doing.
Well, it's actually like in training. I mean, you can't just train 7 days a week, 3 hours a day. You have to recover. So then you have to recover from stress.
It's funny.
One way or the other.
Yeah, the industry, mm-hmm. They like to make sponsorship for sports because sports are the modern heroes.
Yeah.
And in sports, I think around the years 80, in the 80s, suddenly everybody understood a training plan which have not a recovery plan is not a good training plan. We start to speak about active recovery, about massage, about stretching. This was in the 80s, plus minus. Mm-hmm. And everybody understood how important it is. Now we have 2020. The industry is still pushing the people till they break.
Yeah.
No? And we did not recognize that recovery is a part of performance, is a conscious part. And if you are able to dance with resting and acting, mm-hmm. your performance and especially your longevity on mm-hmm. the long term will be huge and much better.
Yeah, because maybe a lot of young people will I'm not old, but I'm talking to younger than me. A lot of young people will see the trend everywhere in the commercials for fitness is now this. I have also one this massage gun, like this deep tissue massage gun, and also there are some cryo sauna and also hypoxia pants and whatever. So everything which is going in fitness right now is going for recovery, active recovery, faster recovery, better sleep, so whatever. So if you're following the trend as long as I do or you will find out that the gap in between like enhancement, performance enhancement, like they found everything out. I mean, there is no magic pill out there, or like if you take one bottle of that, you will be powerful more than that, or take two or whatever. So the limits are found in physical strength or performance enhancement. But what is still in research and also not found everything is recovery. So you can enhance your performance a lot by better recovery, by making sure that you recover efficient and faster. So this is why the trends are there, because it has evidence that we didn't find out everything we have to find out for making the athletes recover the best. I mean, when you are, for example, when you are a very talented guy, you won't even notice that you don't recover well. Lady, my coach, and also she's a trainer and athlete, she also never felt anxiety, exhaustion, or whatever. She's like a machine. She doesn't feel her body, but that can't go far. Sometime your body will like just break, just like say, hey man, or hey girl, that's it, I need a break. And then you get ill and you have like joint problems. She had some shoulder problem. So now we are taking care that she's recovering well.
Nice.
As a coach, I can't do more, you know.
Nice.
I can't put her like enhancement drugs or whatever. You have to begin with the recovery first. So that's why recovery is immense important in bodybuilding. It's immense important in also endurance sports, and for our daily life, obviously also.
You know, when you look at Roger Federer or another top athlete doing his performance, sometimes you have this incredibly elegance coming out, this very harmonious movement, and it looks very easy, so easy. I believe that there is a total balance between relaxation and tension.
You mean by Roger Federer?
Him or other people which are very on the best level.
It's because he's Swiss, of course.
Swiss perfection. You got it.
Swiss quality.
Swiss quality. Now you see what I mean? When people are moving at high level, it always looks very elegant.
Yeah.
And I believe the balance between contraction and relaxation, agonist, antagonist, inhale, exhale, or doing too much or not enough. This balance is like perfect. And it's the same for our health, no? So you touch a point which is very interesting about your coach. We are so much in the performance out there, that we refuse to look inside and to feel. I'm very near to break, but I'm a doer, I'm a manager, I'm a strong person, so I don't look. So we spoke now about this emotion in Chinese medicine. It was fear, it was overthinking, eventual sadness, it was also anger. So the first step to deal with it is to recognize it. But how can I recognize my fears, my emotions, if I'm always running in all direction? And if I'm thinking all my life is outside? I only need outside recognition, and I never spend time in the stillness with myself. So for me, I see two very strong possibilities. There are much more, naturally.
Of course.
We should have every day a very important appointment with our best friend, with ourselves. And in this appointment, perhaps we should stop playing with the handy, planning, talking even. We should just be with ourselves and take the chance to listen inside and to really see, how do I feel? I'm not speaking about 3 hours. It's like a routine. If you do it all the time, suddenly you realize, oh, it's important I listen inside. And you will do it all the time, like a thermometer, like a measurement. And then you get an habit that you are in touch. And then perhaps you can really realize, oh, today I'm sad. Why I say in a provocative manner, perhaps you can realize, because if you are running, you don't realize. Only when you stop. By the way, we are very afraid to do nothing. Why are we afraid? Because we know when we do nothing, emotions come up. Sometimes when I teach,
I think you mean also being alone. Sometimes people are not don't like to be alone because of that.
You face yourself, no, and you don't face the persona you try to put to everybody out. Mm-hmm. You face the real you, alone with your reality.
Maybe you don't like it, or you see that you're faking a lot.
Yeah. So what is interesting is we spend a lot of time washing our body. Washing our body is necessary.
Yeah, no, that's. I know what you mean. Like,
we spend a lot of time training our body. When do we spend time taking care of our mind and our heart?
I'd like to clean up the mess in our mind. So washing is kind of a right word.
Cleansing, cleansing. Yeah. So we should first be enough humble to accept that we need that. That's a necessity, and this part have a huge influence on health. You know, water which is not moving
rottens.
Rottens, correct? So the emotions in Chinese medicine is the same. The emotions are something beautiful that we all need and we all love. But when they're stuck, they are poison. They can make us very sick. So by observing that, eventually letting them go, eventually transform them, but be conscious of them, they will be in moving. Life is always moving, no? It's a dynamic process. It's never static. If we don't look at the emotions for a long time, and what do? No? We keep running. We keep running, and we don't look right, and then we run where? In the wall, no? In the wall. Yeah.
When we are unstoppable, we try to just run which direction whatsoever, not even with a goal. This is I think a problem which a lot of millennials, even if they are now old enough to be like grown-ups, but I would say this. I have a nephew. He's 15. I hope he will look to this video, and if you do, learn. No, I have a nephew. He's very smart. It's like the phenomenon which is known that every year the kids get smarter, the new generation, because we have more knowledge available. We have that they learn to live with tech faster than we did. I mean, I get stupider every year. I'm just like stopping the progress of getting dumber. I try to learn a little bit more every year, but every year kids get smarter. And my nephew is very smart. He also likes philosophy, literature. He likes history. It was really strange because I started to like that with 25 and he's 15. So, but what he's lacking is the patience, which is developed by years and years, and when you grow up. And he has, for example, I think this, not he alone. His friends and also my clients are the sons of my clients are also sometimes in the age of 13, 16. They're stressed out because they have so much knowledge. They have so much in their hands. Everyone expects them to do more, to do better than the parents, than the grown-ups, because they have more available to them. So this is the frustration, which I think you mean also when you say, hey, someone is dictating our lives. For example, when I have this whole equipment, I was frustrating myself on the lockdown. I said, okay, what can I do now? I have to do something. If I don't do nothing, I will get crazy. So I had to just like do something. But in this extent, I love what I do. It never stresses me a lot more than just being alive. I mean, being alive is stressful enough. But I know a lot of people, even my nephew, they are like, they have to have the answer right now, what to do in life, what to do after school, what to do after that. And so this is a problem which is coming more and more, because that's no surprise why younger people are interested in politics, in environment, in ecology, and what's happening in sea, what's happening with the ozone, or whatever. These themes which actually never bothered me so much when I was younger, which are actually being right now more and more present to me. Kids are growing up with a lot of more woke. They are more woke. They are more assured that they have to do something, which is weird in a good way and also in a bad way. You know what I mean?
Yes, I have two daughters, no?
Ah, yeah, you.
they are, and I'm always surprised by them, and many times they are my teachers, no? Mm-hmm. So I think I see two sides, no? in my job as coach, I love to help people to develop their potential, but their potential. So I think when we have potential, somehow, as thankfulness to life, to the gift we get, just to the fact to be alive, we should try to develop our potential. But our potential is not only outside, because this view can put a lot of pressure. And for me, the rebalancing is always asking, I'm doing it for others, or is still in balance with my needs? And this balancing between the time I spend with myself and the time I spend in the outside world, I think is very important. Also, you said there are a lot of pressure. And for what? For some success or achievement. But who knows what is success? For some people, drinking a beer after the job and talking to good friends feels so good that is their own success. Mm-hmm. And for some people, they have to do very special things and all the world had to know about it. Yeah. They will call it success. So why I provoke like a little bit black and white, no?
Yeah, but it's a good also a good meditation to be again thoughtful. What's success? What's actually being happy? What does it mean for you? It can change.
And my success is not, my definition is not yours and yours is not mine. Mm-hmm. And this gives you a lot of freedom to think about it, no? Yeah. So we had a question at the beginning concerning compare.
Yeah, exactly. The question was that we can discuss about comparing ourselves to someone else. Yeah. So I think we are done. Okay, I think we can answer this question.
The time is flying, like usual.
So my philosophy, I will say it first, and then you can round this thing out because you have more experience about that as me.
Perhaps.
But most obviously. So how I deal with comparing myself to others is in a healthy way. I mean, I'm obviously not anymore so much, but I'm getting back to it, a bodybuilder, and the whole life I had as a bodybuilder, which like since I was 16 years old till I was 26, it was continuously comparing myself to others, first to Arnold Schwarzenegger and that. So the first thing I will tell you honestly was my experience with performance enhancement, which started with 19, which I'm not really proud of it, but I'm not really also like ashamed of it. It started because I was comparing myself to bigger guys, to Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the danger there was when I was in the gym, there were no social media. I didn't have an iPhone with a Wi-Fi, and YouTube was not there a thing. The first thing is people can control you because they look at your what's called forehead, mm-hmm. and it's like written I'm a victim because I want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. And some dealer came to me, which was like bigger than me in gym, and said, hey, everyone does it. Everyone takes steroids, and so you should take it also because Arnold Schwarzenegger did. And I said, no way, he's natural. And obviously, when you learn a little bit more about bodybuilding, you learn that a few limitations physically are there. So yeah, I was in full focus on what I want to accomplish in my life, in my goals. I want to go on stage. So I tried these things out, So I was not really proud of it. It didn't have any effect on me because my nutrition was not perfect. My training skills obviously were nowhere near to now. I didn't have the experience for training, for nutrition, for supplementation, recovery. So it was just spending money for nothing. Thankfully, because it could go the other way around. I could have health issues or whatever. Maybe not in future. Now, I don't know. But the thing is, this was the first thing I noticed when I compare myself to other people instead of me, what I could accomplish. So the story goes like this. I cut the bridges to be a natural athlete because I'm a very honest guy. So I thought, okay, when I tried this thing, it's like recognized as, okay, I did something unnatural, so I can't compete the next 7 years, which is obviously stupid, but it's the law. 7 years I'm like blocked to compete as a natural bodybuilder. I was 19 years old. I was in my prime. I wanted to compete, so I was thinking, fuck it, because I want to compete. So I won't compete in a natural federation because it's stupid to train 7 years without competing. My best years, I thought. And then with 26. So I just switched the federation, competed in a different federation, the biggest one. And in the end, I fell in love with the federation because it's the biggest one. Arnold Schwarzenegger competed in this federation, whatever. But the thing is, for a stupid mistake I did, or what can I say, stupid decision I made, I didn't know the consequences. I was in danger because I was comparing myself to bigger guys, to more successful guys, and I never thought that the decision to take something, for example, now Schwarzenegger took something, but it was like 1% of the 100% which were explaining his success. I started with the 1%, not with how he ate, how he trained, how was his genetics, how was his mindset. No, someone came and said to me, hey, listen, this is the missing gap in between you and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Obviously, I would take it, who not? But that was the danger. That was the misunderstanding about the concept when I compared myself to someone I don't know. I can't possibly know. And now, years later, I could tell you 10 different stories about success, about business or being a coach or whatever. My experience when I'm comparing myself to someone else is I never know how this person is, how this person feels, how this person really thinks. And now when I'm, funny enough, I am being compared to someone new, and someone says, Fabri, how do you do that? Fabri, you're so successful. You can talk so good and blah, 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 blah. And I say, man, you're crazy. I'm not as successful as I seem to be. I'm not as good as a speaker as I try my best. But in my head, I'm not as good as I want to be. I'm not as successful as I want to be. But thank you for the flowers, So what we see outside in front of us when we want to compare ourselves to someone else is never the thing which is happening. Mm-hmm. So for myself, I'm trying to do my best, and this is my advice to you. Compare yourself to yourself, but every day a little bit better. And I'm a very big fan of Jordan Peterson, even if he's a little bit controversial to a lot of people I know. But Jordan Peterson has wrote a book, 12 Rules for Life. One rule is compare yourself with yourself and your future self. I totally missed the point there. But when you compare yourself to just yourself and try every day to be better than the day before, that was the title of the chapter. You can't do nothing wrong. It's not hypocritical. It's not small thinking. It's not bad to just be every day a little bit better. And I will tell you one example. For example, I try my best to do every podcast a little bit better than the last podcast before. And
you make me nervous. You make me nervous.
The first person who noticed is Nuno, because he came in and said, today you're really progressive. You're more orderly than last time.
I say each time. Yeah. Each time I say you try something new. Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's the secret. Is like I take notice. Okay, how long did I take to cable everything in and plug it in and everything? So I think next time I want to do it 5 minutes earlier. Yeah. And better and cleaner. So I put on some better lights and everything, but just every time a little bit better. Not one whole thing, and then I have an empty chair, and I'm talking to myself. No, that the more I see the progress in the podcast or people like it or not, I try to do more. I put more energy in there. It's exactly the same thing for you. If you are not skilled in something, don't force yourself. If you're skilled at something, don't make big jumps to the elite. Take your time. But this makes also fun, and this is a lot more peace in yourself instead of comparing yourself to, I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure to who I could compare myself, man. Or you. We are unique. We are individuals.
I fully agree with you. I would like to go back and then to use the same topic. We spoke about the emotions, no?
Mm-hmm.
So because we are in the performance, we are fighting. We are achieving with force. Chinese medicine, we say yin and yang, no? Softness, slowness, love, acceptance. This is also force, but it's soft power, no? So concerning the emotions, the acceptance to look at an emotion, to accept it, and to transform it is something very powerful. Just this neutral, no judgment looking. I'm sad. I'm not a bad person because of that. I'm not a weak person. I'm just sad. I notice. So now back to this topic about comparing. I think the word acceptance is very important. Other people can inspire us, and we always inspire somebody, or somebody inspire us. I like this idea. You meet master anytime, anywhere. Sometimes it's a small kid, sometimes it's a grandma, sometimes it's a friend, and wow, we learn all the time from everybody, no? Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I agree fully on that.
Non-stop, no? So why focus on just one person? The teacher anyway is life, not only persons, no? So with this acceptance that you are your own teacher, you are your own doctor, your own coach, if you have enough acceptance for yourself. At the end of the day, the only person you have to look in the mirror is yourself, no? So I think remembering that we are a unique individuality make us free from compare and from perhaps jumping into the wrong story, no? This is a point I think is important to respect our individuality with something very caring and loving. Mm-hmm. Not only I'm not good enough, blah, I should be better, blah. No, sometimes I like to say we are so hard on ourselves. Mm-hmm. We even don't need enemies. And this comes.
Yeah, that's true.
This comes from
We're sometimes harder to ourselves than to our best friends, and
sure.
Why is that? We are our best friends.
No, we learn to love with conditions, mm-hmm. and we love ourselves with conditions. We only love ourselves when I will achieve this, I will be good enough. When I will achieve that, people will love me. And this is not love, this is permission.
Mm-hmm. Permission to be loved, yeah.
Yeah, and we punish ourselves. No?
Punish. Permission.
So to finish on my side, two things. In Japanese kendo, mm-hmm. they say first turn the sword against yourself. Yeah. Not to harm you, but to look inside and to find your potential and to learn, no? Mm-hmm. So don't fight with the outside world. The growing comes from inside and is your full responsibility. Mm-hmm. Another phrase from a friend is not mine.
Yeah.
Say, be world champion of your world.
Yeah.
Just enough is what you say.
Yeah.
Every day I'm best version of myself. And then you will be in peace because, as you said, my criteria of success are just individual. Reaching goals that other person expect from me is meaningless. So find your own truth. Don't compare to people. You are individual. And in this individuality, we should find some peace, some happiness, some fulfillment. More than 1,000 times enough, no?
Yeah. Oh, that's true, man. That's true. Thank you very much for your words.
It's always a pleasure.
So we are actually at the end of our podcast of today. And yes, there are some long podcasts. Man, you need patience for us. But if you did, and if you are still watching, thank you very much for watching. We had an awesome time to talk. And we would do that even without cameras. So don't get us wrong. We enjoy the time together. We just decided to record that for you also to enjoy it. And if you do, please give us a like, share, and subscribe to our channel. This will be done every Friday. I'm afraid yesterday I had a bad emergency, so we had to cancel it and do it today. But we will have it every Friday or sometimes Saturday. I'm sorry. We'll do a podcast weekly with Coach Nuno Damaso about motivation, inspiration, and how to be a more fulfilled and successful warrior. And what can I say more? Nuno, let's take lunch. I think it's almost lunchtime. Guys, I have you have something to say?
No.
I'm missing my blood sugar is going down. Thank you very much.
Thank
Nuno,
you for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure.
And also say the phrase we always say at the end.
Be water, my friend.
Oh. Well, someday we will have that said. Okay. Take care, guys. Take care. And also, you know it, just feel powerful.